contest is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first.
AFA, you're invited, rolls on. Jordan Tassel and Remy Morgan holding down the booth alongside a returning Ethan Lawmaster.
A lot of history between these two from the New Japan Academy to before one of our competitors was even in the business.
Western Australia, weighing out at 225 pounds, representing TMDK, historical
So Remy Morgan, first it was the Icon Scramble, and now Shane Haste in his entrance. What are you manifesting with the Turkey here, man? What's going on?
I didn't ask for any of this, Jordan Castle, and I'm honestly not okay with it. I'm pretty uncomfortable.
Of course, you alluded to it, Ethan Lawmaster, Shane Haste, not only a member of TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but refer to Shane's allegiances. You can't talk about them without talking about his opponent here tonight, Johnnie Robbie. For several a year during her formative time as a professional wrestler, a trainee in this business, these two joining forces. Shane Haste even going so far as to lower his booking fee. Tell promoters, I will come in at a reduced rate if you will let me team with Johnnie Robbie and give her that opportunity alongside me. That is how much he thought of Johnny, that is how highly he thought of her, and frankly, how much he saw in a young Johnnie Robbie. I promise she is more than fulfilled. Tonight, it is Teacher versus Stu.
Introducing his opponent.
Let's go, Johnny! I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
California. She is 1/4 of the singles. This is Johnnie.
Over a year in the making, Johnnie Robbie is back in a big way. And ever since returning, she's been paying a lot of her old mentors a visit. She beat Bateman back in Pride Style. And tonight, she has the chance to cross a big one off the list. Shane Haste.
Johnny telling me earlier on tonight it meant the world for her that Shane Haste saw something in her and took her under his wing, said that doesn't care what anyone else thinks. In her mind, Shane Haste is a living legend, and for her to be the only woman besides, or someone called, I don't know, Rhea Ripley, who Shane Haste has ever joined forces with in tag team action, it means the world to her. Johnnie Robbie certainly in good company there.
You know, you make up a lot of good points, Jordan, but you got to think, too, maybe at a certain point, Johnnie Robbie feels like she needs to get out from underneath the shadow of her former mentor.
And perhaps that's what we see here tonight. I mean, Ethan, if she is able to indeed defeat Shane Haste here tonight, she absolutely accomplishes that, one thinks.
Absolutely. But you have to think about this. Shane has a reputation to uphold as a coach. He can't let a student pull out an upset like this.
Waist lock here from Johnnie Robbie. You alluded to it, Ethan. Shane's time at NJPW Academy, training the future at the LA Dojo. Johnnie Robbie, a graduate of that camp, and since then, a fixture on New Japan Strong events.
Jordan, is there a bigger rite of passage in wrestling than getting beat by your student?
Well, we've seen it time and time again. It can be both a stepping stone to greatness and a signifier that there's a glass ceiling over you. For Johnnie Robbie, this is a make or break moment, not just in her AFA career, but her professional wrestling career. Psyched in here by Shane Haste. Remy, what does that tell you?
Shane Haste telling her, hey, that was well scouted, kid, but I tell you, everything you know, we're seeing it now.
It's the old cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason, Remy. Shane Haste may have taught Johnnie Robbie much of what she knows, but has he taught her everything that Shane Haste knows? Remains to be seen.
And especially because
shoulders down.
And especially because Shane is somebody who Johnny holds in such high regard. Every time Johnny had a question, Shane had an answer. She has so much of Shane's brain in hers. Now let's see if she can put it to use here.
Johnnie Robbie with a decided size disadvantage here. He's got to use that athleticism, but moreover that craftiness. Johnnie Robbie is a smart wrestler. She's not afraid to take a low road, but only if necessary, has to pick her moments here against Shane Haste to exploit any, shall we say, overconfidence that has become commonplace.
You have to believe one of the things that Johnnie Robbie learned from Shane Haste was sometimes all it takes is getting a win and nothing else matters.
Especially here tonight, especially in such a must-win situation. The record books aren't going to say, oh, you raked the eyes or you grabbed the tights. For Johnnie Robbie, all she cares about is a big fat W, and as she herself psychs out Shane Haste, he's one step closer.
Atta boy, atta girl, it goes both ways!
Again, so much of what Shane Haste has taught Johnnie Robbie is coming to fruition here. This is not the same plucky young kid with the bunny ears, beanie, and the cut-off shorts that he met at the MPW arena. This is an established and dangerous combatant here. And she's taking him outside the ring. Big boot, followed up with a tope suicida.
Johnnie Robbie absolutely fearless, showing she has everything it takes to go toe-to-toe with the much bigger Shane Haste.
And not just doing it, but doing it with composure. Keeping a head on a swivel is Johnnie Robbie, not getting caught up in the moment of her AFA debut or this dream match against former trainer and tag team partner. Johnnie Robbie is all business here, gentlemen.
And you talk about the style of Johnnie Robbie, the athleticism, the craftiness, but ever since that injury and coming back to the ring, she's adapted much more of a brawling style, much more striking, something certainly akin to her mentor, Shane Haste.
But does that perhaps put her at a disadvantage? Not only, hold on here, oh my God! Back first on the apron.
Well, if she wasn't at a disadvantage before, she certainly might be now.
Shane Haste sending Johnnie Robbie for a ride there, back first on the ring apron. That awful little corner where steel meets wood, and here, this is curious to me, Remy Morgan, breaking up the count, pushing Johnnie Robbie in and out of the ring for a second, giving himself even more time on the outside. What does that tell you?
Shane Haste knows exactly where he is, but...
No! He definitely knows where he is right now! Dragon screw on the corner post!
And it was that moment of hesitation, deciding to take Johnnie Robbie back out to the outside, that cost both competitors!
Turnabout fair play here. Anything you can do, I can do better. The leg of Shane Haste, and dare I say something else of Shane Haste, as well as the arm of Johnnie Robbie, got to be in a world of hurt here.
Referee Scarlett at a 5 count, now almost 6. Johnnie Robbie thrown back in the ring.
You can see Johnnie Robbie really nursing that arm here. You talk about that brawling style she's implemented since returning from injury, Ethan. How much of that is neutralized with a clipped wing? Shane again crotched on the top.
And again, it cuts off all of those forearms, all of those punches, those forearms so fundamental to her style.
Made eye contact with a sign that said, beat that ass, Johnny. She's looking to do just that. Double knees in the corner.
And believe me, if anyone can do it, it's Johnnie Robbie. Her trainer, Ray Rosas, will tell you.
Cover. Only a 2.
She hits harder than any of her colleagues, male or female.
It is what set her apart. There are many people who have gone through the NJPW Academy program in the last couple years. You can count on one hand the amount of people who have taken that and turned that into regular roster time at NJPW Strong. Johnnie Robbie is one of those athletes, and you're seeing why here. Cutting off Shane Haste here. Johnnie Robbie having an answer for everything that Shane's thrown her way, Remy.
Commentators curse just as you say that. Shane Haste takes control of this matchup with a big boot right to the face of Johnnie Robbie.
And you talk about what the damage to the arm could do to Johnnie Robbie. I think that damage to the leg of Shane Haste is even more damaging. Whoa, look out!
I think Johnnie Robbie would agree with you right now. She's picking the leg here.
Basement drop kick there from Johnnie Robbie, but not capitalizing immediately. Still feeling the effect of that boot to the face. Still feeling the effect, no doubt, of that onslaught to the arm from the post on the outside.
But no,
Robbie's ears might be ringing here.
But knowing how much Shane favors those kicks to wear down his opponent, going after the leg is an even smarter strategy by Johnnie Robbie.
See Johnny nursing that arm, almost collapsing en route to meeting Shane here. And this is what I'm talking about. You give Haste an inch, she'll take a mile. Taking advantage of Robbie, taking advantage of that injured arm, and this is not where you want to be if you're the troublemaker.
Now to the outside, precarious position for both competitors. Oh, no. What can Johnny be thinking here?
Johnnie Robbie.
Thinking German suplex on the apron here, Remy. This is ugly for Shane Haste.
Shane Haste holding on for dear life.
It's not often you see Shane Haste desperate. He's looking desperate right now.
But Johnny learned that shot on the apron before. Sweeps the legs.
Haste on the apron. Double knees once again. They have been an ace in the hole for Johnnie Robbie here.
You talk about how much Johnnie Robbie has learned from Shane Haste. It looks like Johnnie Robbie has known exactly where Shane Haste is going to be. She's kind of picking him here a little bit.
I gotta say, perhaps it's up to me. Perhaps it's my own fault for doubting Johnnie Robbie here as she lands the DDT into the cover. And a kick out from Haste. I thought this would be a lot more of Johnnie Robbie fighting from under, a lot more of an underdog effort from Johnnie Robbie. It has been anything but. Cover once again. And a kick out from Haste. She's dominated this match.
Not giving Shane Haste any room to breathe, staying on top of him after every kick out. Shane Haste is in big trouble here.
Haste dead to rights here, Ethan. What does Haste have to do to get back in this thing?
At this point, he has to lock down Johnnie Robbie. Chase has so much potential on the mat. If he can keep Johnnie in one place, lock in the right hold, we could very well see Team Haste being declared the winner.
Slap to the face here from Johnnie Robbie. Utter disrespect. I talked about the reverence she referred to when we were speaking to earlier. How much it meant to her that Shane Haste took her under his wing. All that out the window here. And Shane Haste gonna make him pay for it. Sits out with the power bomb.
Just effortless.
Cover. No!
Shane Haste taking just a beat too long to get into that cover.
Didn't take a beat too long there. PK, cover once again. Still only a 2.
Johnnie Robbie's still somehow finding signs of life in this matchup, but she might be in big trouble here. She needs to figure something out.
We're talking about this potentially derailing the career of Johnnie Robbie, a make-or-break moment for her. How about Shane Haste, a member of TMDK, a regular fixture of both New Japan Strong and NJPW in the Land of the Rising Sun, former IWGP Heavyweight and New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champion. If he loses tonight to his student in Johnnie Robbie, what does that do to the career of Haste?
Well, I don't know who'd be laughing harder, Zack Sabre Jr. at TMDK or Rocky at the school tomorrow.
No one laughing here. Johnnie Robbie leveling Shane Haste with a flurry of European uppercuts and forearms, but gets that injured arm ringed. That was the same arm that was snapped against the post earlier on. Oh, come on, to the throat. But Johnny gonna meet him here, Remy.
Johnnie Robbie giving everything back to Shane Haste.
Back to that injured arm. Both of these competitors are fighting dirty, but the Hurricane drops Haste.
Off adrenaline alone, Johnnie Robbie is staying in this fight and looking for the kill. She has the arms of Shane.
You said it earlier, Johnnie Robbie.
No!
She seems to know where he's going to be before he gets there.
Didn't know it then.
No, kick out at 2 3/4.
Still the wherewithal to get the shoulder up, Remy Morgan.
Johnnie Robbie's still somehow fighting for her life here.
I gotta point to it here, gentlemen. Shane Haste with the size advantage, with the experience advantage, with the big match experience, still being forced to cheat, still being forced to bend the rules here.
Well, big brain Shane knows exactly what he needs to do to pull out the win. And right now, he could be looking for that Bomb Valley Death and the win.
On the shoulders, but Johnnie Robbie saw it coming. Cover, cover, cover!
No! Johnnie Robbie almost stole one.
Again, Ethan, how many times did she see, perhaps assist Shane Haste in hitting that move during their time as a tag team?
Well, all their years in the same corner, all Johnny's years
Pepsi twist!
as a student has led to this moment. Go for the cover, get your win.
No! Shades of another trainer in Tyler Bateman. You talked about their Magic Pride style, but nobody home off the death from above, and Shane Haste takes advantage. Hook of the leg, but still only a 2.
Shane Haste showing signs of frustration here.
And just the angle of impact of that suplex.
He's got that dragon wing, perhaps. But Johnnie Robbie fighting out of it.
She's got one arm free, and she's making use of it.
Slaps to the face of Shane Haste. Crunching that already injured arm, and back to the dragon wing.
Johnnie Robbie's in trouble here. She has nowhere to go.
She's out, man. She's done. This is academic.
That's it.
Referee Scarlett Donovan with no choice but to call for the bell.
Is your winner, hysterical Shane Haste!
But despite everything Shane did to Johnny, there's something to be said for the fighting spirit in Johnnie Robbie, worthy of a New Japan Academy graduate.
Jordan, I can tell from here, Shane Haste is telling the referee she didn't tap. Shane Haste, look at him, he's telling her.
And that speaks volumes. Johnnie Robbie passing out in the clutches of Shane Haste. She did not give up. She did not say it was too much. Her body gave out for her. As you said, Ethan Lawmaster, the fighting spirit lives on, and it lives strong in the heart of Johnnie Robbie.
And if there's any legacy that Shane Haste can take with him, it is knowing that he has had a fundamental part in raising a competitor like Johnnie Robbie.
We often talk about winning even in defeat. It sounds corny, it sounds cliche in many cases, but it has never been truer than here tonight.